Welcome, casters. It's finally time to highlight the Artemis Starter Deck and the mysterious forces of the Lunar Element coming in Lifestream. Today's video will showcase all of the incredible cards coming in the Artemis Starter Deck, my personal favorite, as well as unveil the new potential of Lycavoid, Champion of Artemis, Escape from Tartarus. The cornerstone of this starter deck is, of course, the divine goddess of the hunt, Artemis, and her powerful suppression effect. You can disenchant a lunar spirit from your Artemis to target face-up cards in the field and suppress them until the end of that opponent's next turn. This allows you to suppress artifact runes, divine runes, Elestrals, and much more, and be able to turn on a handful of the different effects of her lunar Elestrals throughout the deck. Her first champion is the adorable little fawnlet that she rescued in the forest with a broken horn. This fawnlet hits the field with 2 attack and 5 defense with a very powerful ramping effect, allowing it to enchant a lunar spirit from the underworld to the fawnlet if a card on the opponent's field is suppressed. Very easy to turn online, of course, with your Artemis. While a suppressed Elestral is on the field, whether it's yours or your opponent's, fawnlet actually cannot be destroyed in battle. This makes fawnlet an incredible pair for cards like Dense Fog, and also just your general support utilizing Artemis to suppress. Keeping fawnlet around and being able to enchant additional spirits to it allows you to ramp into your 3-spirit lunar Elestrals very easily. This fawnlet ascends into the powerful Theraheart, a 6 attacker with 6 defense that can search your deck for a lunar counter rune and add it to your hand. This may seem a bit underwhelming at first, but that's only because you haven't seen all of the amazing counter runes located in this deck. As a reminder, Rise from the Shadows is an incredible target. Dense Fog, Lunar Phase, Full Moon, and of course Artemis's Deadshot, which I'll get to later in this video. And last but certainly not least, the Theraheart ascends into Posthumous, Champion of Artemis, with one of the most devastating effects we've released. As a 13 attacker with 8 defense, this Posthumous will heal you up when a suppressed Elestral is destroyed by your attack or by your card effect. You get to heal 3 spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck. That provides a tremendous amount of generation advantage in a mid to late game scenario. And while your Artemis is enchanted, each of your opponent's Elestrals are suppressed, meaning you're turning off all of your opponent's effects, enabling your Posthumous to heal your spirit deck and allow you to do massive damage. Our old friend from Moonrise, Fawnlet, will also be returning as an incredible Artemis searcher, providing more defensive prowess for the deck. And of course, one of the reveals you've been most anticipating is none other than Artemis's Deadshot, a powerful new counter rune that says this Artemis Deadshot can only be played when an opponent casts an Elestral. Disenchant Lunar from your Artemis equal to that Elestral's enchantment cost in order to target and destroy it. Artemis's Deadshot becomes an incredible removal tool for the Artemis suppression-based decks, allowing you to destroy Elestrals on their cast and generate massive control and board advantage. As a 1-cost Lunar, Deadshot fits into many Artemis builds as a powerful tool, and I expect to see a tremendous amount of play in these suppression-based strategies. Don't forget, it's searchable through your new Theraheart as well, allowing you to lock down your opponent's field in a big way. Suppression is a huge part of this strategy, which is why we've included a handful of other key cards. Poison-tipped Arrow, Artemis's Arrow, allows you to target Elestrals and suppress them while giving them -2 attack and -2 defense until the next turn. And this card is actually a free cast if you also have an Artemis on the field, as you can heal up a spirit as well. Very powerful, being able to turn on your Spectrous, Champion of Artemis, and enable your suppression-based effects even easier. Dense Fog is going to return as a powerful suppression tool to hit the entire field, and I expect that to be a great card in the upcoming set. We also have a new Dense Fog card coming to Lifestream, which is Dense Fog Achilles Mist. This powerful 1-cost lunar counter rune states until the next turn, changes to an Elestral's attack or defense from effects don't apply. That is a very powerful effect that turns off the likes of Galaxy, Zeus, and many other cards. Being able to interact with these stat swaps and stat changes allows you to have the edge over your opponents when they go into battle. But wait, there's more, because Dense Fog Achilles Mist has a second effect that states when this Dense Fog is discarded by your Lunar Elestral's effect or an opponent's effect, you can draw 2 cards, which means if your opponent hands rip you with maybe that new Poison Nectar Dionysus is rocking, guess what? You can discard this card and draw 2 cards. Or if you remember my good friend Toxiri and Night Venom from the Moonrise era, well, guess what? Some incredible synergy there, with Night Venom being able to destroy 2 cards by discarding this and drawing 2 cards. Oh baby, I'm sure you guys are already cooking. It is worth noting that Dense Fog Achilles Mist is not in the Artemis Starter Deck, but it's a common in the main set, so you guys will have no problem finding it. We've got a handful of other suppression-based cards come into this deck as well, including Werepup, Champion of Artemis returning, being able to turbo into your Lycavoid, and of course you've got the Moonrise Werepup and Lycavoid also returning, allowing you to search out your lunar phases and turbo into an unaffected counter-rune Lycavoid as well. Lunar Phase Full Moon getting a well-deserved reprint, which I know a lot of people are excited about, allowing that Werepup to ascend very quickly and also pile Lunar Spirits to your field super fast. I know this is one of the most anticipated cards being reprinted, so you can grab it comfortably in your Artemis Starter Deck. Lunar Phase, however, is getting some more epic support because Lunar Phase Lunar Eclipse is coming to the Artemis Starter Deck. This is a 2-cost Lunar Invoke rune that states, target and destroy face-down runes up to the number of Lunar Elestrals on your field. While this Lunar Phase is on a chain, its title also counts as Full Moon. That means you can use this Lunar Phase Lunar Eclipse to destroy your opponent's runes and set up for powerful plays. You can utilize this with its second effect to ascend your Werepup into a Lycavoid. There's a lot of potential here. This now turns Lycavoid into a 1-card, 1-turn combo, being able to go from Werepup, search this, cast this on your first turn, and go into Lycavoid, making it incredibly powerful. The next topic I want to talk about is Lycavoid, Champion of Artemis, Escape from Tartarus. We originally announced a few weeks back that we were going to be doing an errata and changing Lycavoid, Champion of Artemis to give it a new effect that had a more suppression-focused strategy, kind of curbing some of the power level of the swarming that Lycavoid was doing in the game. I heard your feedback and recognized that the errata was not something you guys were interested in, so we actually decided to change it to become the first ever Champion of Artemis Escape from Tartarus version, and that's what's in the starter decks. We managed to get this all slotted in with our USA manufacturer before going to print to kind of listen to the feedback, make improvements, and ultimately deliver an awesome card in the starter deck that is at an appropriate power level for the game. This new Lycavoid Champion of Artemis Escape from Tartarus will retain the errata effect that we initially proposed, but of course it will count as a new individual card, meaning that in the future, if we ever want to take Lycavoid Champion of Artemis, not Escape from Tartarus, off the ban list and bring it back to the game, we have the flexibility to do so. And we heard you loud and clear that you guys, as the players, would much prefer that approach, so we're going to continue with that for the future. This effect states that when you cast a Lycavoid, you can special cast a Werepup from your deck with Lunar Suppress for each suppressed card an opponent controls. So rather having the flexibility to cast any number of Werepup, you simply cast Werepup equal to the number of suppressed cards your opponent controls. While this is a step down in power level, I think it'll be very welcomed, and again, we have more flexibility in the future to make changes, update our ban list, and ultimately bring the original Lycavoid back in full force. It's also worth noting that this incredible Lycavoid Champion of Artemis Escape from Tartarus card will receive an incredible full art reprint in Shattered Stars Libra, so stay tuned for that. I do want to mention that this was one of the hardest decisions I've had to make as the head game designer of Elestrals. I was juggling a lot of pieces, trying to determine how can I balance the level of player dissatisfaction over this very overwhelming card in Firestorm with the fact that it was receiving support in Lifestream with our brand new Lunar Eclipse card, and it was meant to be a core focus of the Artemis decks, while other decks were getting access to swarm tools like Aepharos, Magnaros, Iwooly, and others. These are becoming more commonplace in Elestrals, and I believe that Lycavoid Champion of Artemis has a place in Elestrals in the future. It maybe just came a little sooner than people would have liked. This change to ultimately go with the Escape from Tartarus version opens up more possibilities in the future for us and ultimately opens more design space in case we do something like this again. This has been a great lesson for us in our testing process and our learning process about splashability of Elestrals and the good stuff piles. And that's something we're going to continue to address over the next couple sets, is making adjustments to our card pool to allow for more strategy, archetype focused game plan decks as opposed to just splashing the best cards in Elestrals altogether. So stay tuned for more updates on the design process and what we're looking to do. But now that I can finally show you all the things that we've been working on and all of the new cards, hopefully it sheds a little bit more light into how this was such a difficult decision for us and what led me to trying to do the errata in the first place. But I'm super glad you guys pushed back on that. I'm really excited about the Escape from Tartarus version of this and how we can approach this moving forward. I'm the first to admit I'm not a perfect game designer. I'm certainly learning as I go. So thank you for giving your opinion in a constructive way so we can make the best game possible. Now, going back to highlighting some of the amazing cards in this starter deck, we've got Pandalins, Champion of Artemis, which can force your opponent to expend a spirit every time an Elestral becomes suppressed. Spectrus, Champion of Artemis, which can special cast itself out if your opponent has at least one suppressed card. And of course, Bandaloon, Champion of Artemis, which can steal your opponent's one spirit Elestrals if they're suppressed. These tools are going to come together to make the Artemis suppression strategy even stronger than ever before. The cornerstone of suppression, Spectrus from Daybreak, is returning alongside Comalis, enabling powerful Nexus strategies and ramping into your powerful Posthumous. We've got a handful of powerful runes coming into the deck, including our staple cards, Bow of Artemis, Temple of the Moon, Rise from the Shadows, the brand new counter rune, Cryoblast is a powerful removal tool, Ambrosia, Gorgon's Gaze, and of course Poison-Tipped Arrow, all making a debut in the Artemis Starter Deck. Of course, the Artemis Starter Deck will have incredible Stellar Rares. I'm quite excited for these. Our Reverse Stellar for the bunch is, of course, none other than Artemis's Deadshot, which looks amazing. I need 3 copies of this stat. And let's not forget about the amazing Fawnlet, Champion of Artemis, which is getting an X out of 99 Stellar Rare, where only 99 starter decks in the world will ever contain this incredible card. And don't forget, Lifestream, the rates are better than ever before, and these starter decks come with 3 booster packs, meaning you have a chance to get Reverse Stellars, Stellars, and Full Arts in those packs and enhance your strategy. Divine packs are there, where they're loaded with Stellars, and a brand new Full Art textured card is coming. Posthumous, Champion of Artemis, one of our amazing textured cards coming to Lifestream, an incredible treat to pull out of your packs. And with that, we are now concluding all of our starter breakdowns for Divine Champions Lifestream. Be sure to secure your pre-orders right now at shopelestrals.com to lock in your amazing Stellar Sprouter Champion of Dionysus promo for every 50 spent. And if you head to your local game store, you can pick up the amazing Bubloon Champion of Aphrodite Stellar promo at the LGS Experience exclusively. And don't forget about our pre-release events, because Full Art Textured Stellar Barabas is coming in a big way, but your store needs to do an LGS pre-release. So let them know that they need to run a pre-release event on our Play Network and reach out to us so we can send them those promos. Thank you so much for watching this reveal, my personal favorite starter deck. I'm quite excited for the suppression strategies in Lifestream and what the Artemis starter deck can do in a big way. I'll see you guys soon for another epic reveal.